All right, episode 120 of the 580 show. We're back, boys. What's up?
What's going on? What's
So
going on? Showtime.
So, probably be another quick episode, just us three, no guests this week. But obviously want to talk about the big news for our show that we released just a few days ago. Our regionals, Northeast Regionals, is now a 2-day show.
2 days. Two.
So let's
Two.
talk about it a little bit. Why
I
the
was gonna
decision?
say, what is the reason for the change?
So, if you're a competitor, you got an email kind of highlighting like why we decided to do this, but might as well just talk about it. So, a few things went into the decision to make it a 2-day event. If you're an athlete, you got an email about it already, but figure might as well just hop on here and talk about it. First things, logistics. We're running 2 shows in one day. Battle
Mhm.
of the Bridge, 2, and regionals. And I firmly believe that we could have done it very easily. But talking about it, going through the plans, the logistics, and everything, I don't want regionals athletes to feel like they're rushed. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want it to be like, okay, come on down. It's another local show. Give us your money. Get out the door in
Right.
4 or 5 hours. I think it's impressive to like our team that we can run a show in 4 hours, but I just don't want it to be like just super rushed. I
Right.
think regionals, when we look at it, so this is another reason. So logistics, time. Okay. Don't want anyone to feel rushed. But number two, you now with Strongman Corp have a tier system with shows, right? So you have a local show, you have a regional,
Yep.
which there's only 5 or 6 regionals in the US. We're
Yep.
one of them. And then you have nationals, and then obviously the Arnold. That's for amateur athletes. So I thought that making it 2 days and adding a sixth event was making it a lot more like the shows that it's preparing you to compete at, not at the shows that you have previously competed at. Your just
Right.
normal local show. So nationals and the Arnold, multi-day events. So nationals, no matter what, you compete 2 days, 6 events. Arnold, if you make the finals, this year was 7 events.
Yep.
Okay. So if I look at regionals and the way it's laid out, it's a funnel system to get people to nationals. So, in my opinion, like I said, it should be to prepare you for that next step, not be the same step that you've already been taking over and over and over again. Because if it
Right.
was, it would just be another local show. So, added a sixth event um, to give it that big feel. We're going to be able to do more. We're going to be able to run it more smooth, and we're going to be able to treat the regionals athletes even better and
Right.
give them the best overall experience. So I don't know the exact order that it'll be on the 2 days yet. We're working on it, but we added a sandbag toss. It's going to be very similar in my mind to the 2021 Strongman Corp Nationals. So if you look at that weight matrix, going to be very close to that. Probably some small changes, but very similar to that. So if you're sending me a DM, go look at that weight matrix. It's going to be similar to that. Um, but yeah, just looking at a lot of things we're going to do to treat the regionals athletes. Battle of the Bridge athletes are going to get treated great. Nothing changes for them. It gives us a little bit of breathing room, especially for our volunteers. It's in June. It's hot as hell out. Our volunteers work their butts off. So now regionals day one will end around 1 o'clock. Then we're going to have 2 hours to eat, rehydrate, reset our minds. Hey, what didn't go right in that first session? We can take it over to Bridge, take it to tomorrow. So that's really the whole line of thinking there.
The other thing is too, is one thing to get a show done in 4 hours. So if you start the regional show at 10 o'clock and it's done at 2, you're also have to do awards. You have to do the finalizing of the points, right? Like
Yep.
you have to get all that stuff done. Now you're done. Let's say the final event's done at 2. You got to get all that together and get it ready to go by 2:30 at the latest. Because now at 3 o'clock, if you're starting at 3 o'clock for the local show for Bridge, now you've got people start and try and warm up when you're doing the awards, right?
Yep.
Like the
Yep.
logistics of it's pretty tough. So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I
Like I
think it's
said,
a
I
good
think we
move.
would have been able to do it. It's just like we would
Yeah,
have done 5 events in 3.5 hours. And I think when you start to push it to that level, you're starting to risk more injury. Um, we were out at Akron's and took pauses in the show to let athletes warm up at different times. And that's the type of promoter I want to stay, is allowing athletes to warm up.
right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, warm up
that's
should be encouraged, not
Yeah,
discouraged.
it's a real I know how all three of us think because we're friends and we
Yeah,
talk about it, but I hate the notion that has just become in strongman about not warming up.
right,
Like I there's nothing cool to me as an athlete or a promoter to be like, oh, screw it. We're just gonna go right into this next event. No one's ever touched the implement. Like, or this group's coming straight from this to that. Like, I think it's cool to run shows fast, but I think it's cooler to run them smooth and safely. And like that's how I want to do it. I'd rather run a show in 5.5 hours than three, and everyone got to warm up. I'm not saying it's going to be these like elaborate gym warm ups that you
no,
have maybe at your disposal in your garage gym or your gym that you train at. However, I think having 10 minutes to mess around with the Hercules hold or a deadlift or a press isn't too much to ask for from promoters.
no,
So that's just another thing that came into my mind was safety for the athletes.
right,
And I did offer a free refund to all the athletes that are already signed up because I understand it's 2 days now, Saturday and Sunday. It's you're gonna have to come into town. You're gonna have to stay into town extra day if you were planning on flying out Friday or Saturday night. So you got to stay an extra night. I get that. So I offered a free refund. We were 12 and a half weeks out when we made the announcement. So I thought that was plenty of time. Sorry to anyone that it may have affected. But I'm really hoping that we are the biggest regionals out of all the regionals in the US for Strongman Corp. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people there. I think it's going to be an amazing day. I think this is going to allow us to run it better, smoother, safer, and just an overall better experience for regionals because it should be a bigger show. It
right,
just should be. You
right.
guys are going to get some really cool stuff. There's going to be lot of really cool details. We got some cool sponsors coming on board nowadays, so I'm really excited. Um, Anything else you guys think about like the regional side? You're both competing, so like
Right. I am excited about it. I mean, I think the move is a good move. I think it will give a bigger show feel and a bigger show vibe, right? Like rather than just a local show. So it gives us a chance to get a little bit more experience with the different style format too that Nationals is. Like we're talking about a local show. I mean, for the most part, you're doing one event, okay, event one's done, next group's up, and your time between events, you're turning over events quickly. Nationals isn't like that. Nationals is much longer, much more drawn out. Not to say that we're going to be dragging our feet for
no.
regionals, but it gives you that different feel. Plus, you can prepare. Okay, now you have day one. How did you do on day one? Now you need to prepare for day two because that's a different approach too, right? Like a 2 day show, you're dealing with some fatigue, dealing with some soreness that you normally wouldn't be. Same day fatigue and next day fatigue isn't the same when it comes to 2 days events, right? So it gives you a chance if you've never experienced it before, then you can kind of plan and work with it and see what kind of differences you're going to face if you were to get to nationals and a bigger show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just gonna
Yeah,
make it feel like a bigger show, like we talked about.
I
You're
think
gonna
so.
learn. I think like for athletes, if you're competing at regionals, to the rule of thumb to follow is gonna be an event an hour for you guys. So
Right.
still gonna only be a total like 6 hours over 2 days. I think like the max that like every single event, the way it's laid out, will be 1 hour total. Like from when it starts to when it finishes is when the next event will start. So like it's gonna you're gonna have to learn that timing. It's gonna be similar to how it'll be like at the Arnold, for example. Dante and I were on like they stuck to their schedule where it was like, okay, we're starting this event at 2, next event starts at 3, next event starts at 4. So just reiterating, I know we sound like a broken record now, but like going back to treating it like a bigger show and getting
Yeah.
this group of athletes prepared for bigger shows.
Right.
So that's what it all kind of went down to. So yeah, really, really excited. Like I said, we added a sandbag toss. So our 6 events are a max 13-inch axle deadlift, a Viking press, Atlas stone to shoulder, no tacky, Hercules hold, a frame race, and a sandbag over bar.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a really fun day. Let's hope for
2
good
days.
weather. We're fine if we don't have it, but hopefully we have a great weekend. It'll make the weekend a lot better. Working on little details like just reached out to an IV company for the weight class athletes so they would be able to, as
Wait a
soon as they
minute.
weigh in, if
I'm
they
not allowed to
want
have an
to.
IV?
What's that?
I'm not allowed to have an IV?
Well, you can have an IV. I don't know how much you're water cutting.
Just want to
I'd
be
love.
extra
I
hydrated.
don't know how many super heavy. Yeah, I don't know how many super heavies we're gonna see there, but yeah, just all the weight class athletes. I think it would be really cool to like get off the scale, have them right there in our gym in a nice, like sanitized, clean, isolated area, and like be able to just do it.
That's a
So
good idea.
just little details like that. Um, and I'm sure you athletes will kind of get updates if fall along here. Since we're 12 weeks out now. So um but yeah, that's it with the regionals. Appreciate everyone's support. I really do appreciate everyone's kind messages that are signed up that were like, oh, this is awesome. This is a great decision. This is cool because it means a lot. We didn't take this decision lightly. Like, I don't want anybody to think we did. I know it's a lot. So
It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It wasn't like, I mean, I don't know. You probably thought it out for how long?
yeah, it was in the back of my mind, and yeah, it just talked to a lot of people about it, and I thought it was the right thing to do.
Right.
So anyway, Clash of the Coast was last weekend.
Did you
I
guys think it was as good as I did? I felt like it was really good.
I thought the stream, see, I saw people chirping the stream and being like, "Oh, ADL has to do every stream." I thought the stream after the first hour, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was just us because we were all talking about it, but the first hour seemed like it was a little rough with
Yeah.
the
Yep.
stream, and then I loved it.
Dude, it was really
I
good.
loved
I
it.
thought it
I
was
thought,
awesome.
shout out to whatever live stream company that
I
was.
think it was A1 Digital.
Yes, I think so.
A1 Digital.
I think
Yeah.
you're right. Um,
Dude, I thought it was really good. I mean, I'm sure there were some rough spots, right? Like, especially at the beginning. It almost seems to be it's never on time.
that's
They never start on time. That's the most frustrating part as a
that is the
viewer.
most frustrating part about
Mhm.
strongman live streams is we never start on time and we never start smooth.
Right.
But I really, really felt like once it got the ball rolling, it was rolling. The angles were awesome. The announcers did awesome. And it was really nice. I do wish a professional live stream, the only great, because I try to give the pros and the cons. I had a lot of pros with it. I wish they had the scoreboards flash every once in a
Yeah.
while
Yep.
because no one can find the scoreboards. And I did say I'm not sure if that was something with ESPN, like they weren't. I don't know. I don't think that they weren't posting the scores on their social media because they had a contract with ESPN.
Right.
But when you watch a live stream, it's nice, maybe in between events or every 30 minutes after an athlete goes and you have 20 seconds downtime. Hey, here's our standings for 82 kg women right now. Here's
It,
our 105 men right now. Here's our top 10.
it gives you gives you something a lot better like to watch for. Like you understand, okay,
Just
now this person's right on this person's tail, right? So like
right.
you want to see the next event matters for the scoreboard. Like
Yeah, you're
that,
just guessing because you're like,
right,
oh man, like like I was shocked when some of the people made the finals that they did because they
right.
zeroed events, but it's like it's also on a Friday, like the qualifier, the first day for the 105s. And
Hmm.
like, you're working, you're doing stuff around the house, you miss events. Like just naturally you miss events. It's not like your
Right.
TV where you're pausing it, picking back up over and over. So like, but the quality, the angles, the commentary, I
All
think
that was
Clash
great.
Clash is doing a great job. I sent Tyler Purdue a message and told him, you know, great job and
Hmm.
keep it rolling. So that was
Hmm.
cool. Um, Andrew Clayton won, predicted on the show.
Yep.
Not a crazy prediction. He probably would have been the favorite if there was actual betting odds. Um, Eric Olmstead, who we talked
Our
about,
boy.
who's a friend who honestly since 21 nationals when Clash had just kind of started. Eric had told me that Clash was his goal, and it was to just to make it to Clash. And I was messaging him after about his. He made the finals. Like that is really really awesome. He's got top 10 at Clash, so that is like what an accomplishment. That's wild. So
Yeah. He's only going to get better too. He's really good at the moving stuff. He's really good at loading. I think he probably even would admit that his worst event is his pressing. And if
yeah,
he gets that sorted out, if he gets his pressing sorted out, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with
Yeah.
because
he
he's good at
zeroed.
everything else.
He zeroed the press
Yeah.
and then made the
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah. With a
Um,
zero. So that's shows you how good he is at everything else.
but and it's like it's not like he's a bad presser. He's a bad for like that level presser.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if he
Yeah.
goes to a local show, he'll probably win the press, like for the 105s. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Or it'll be right there. It's just that level. You know, their medley was a 300 log
Hmm.
into a 270 keg, which a 270 keg for a medley press is. I thought that was
Pretty
heavy.
heavy. I
For
mean,
105 guys, I thought that was pretty heavy.
yeah.
And then the last it was actually that was a pretty unique pressing medley if you look at it. Because in my opinion, the easiest implements for the guys were the hardest to get to because the implements before it were what was giving everyone
Sure.
problems.
Hmm.
So if you watch, the keg gave everyone problems.
Hmm.
But when people got to the dumbbell, they were rolling.
Yep.
Like I'm pretty sure Andrew Clayton got like 18, 16 or 18 reps on
There
those
were a lot of
dumbbells.
reps. There were a
Like
lot of reps on the
the
dumbbell.
dumbbells looked small. I actually
Hmm.
really enjoyed that event. Like it's funny how 110 dumbbells look small to those guys and they're just throwing them up for reps. Like
Right.
you think about an average gym, some don't even have 110 dumbbells. A lot of gyms, it's their heaviest dumbbell. And these guys are just like reverse curling up their shoulders and going double digit reps after two previous implements. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, but if you watched it, the keg is what gave everyone the problem. So for all you there, you look like you got some
Hmm.
connectivity. Oh, okay,
I'm
cool.
good. Yeah.
All right.
It
But
froze up.
yeah. So I'm trying to think what else stood out from Clash. What events I really liked.
Did Clayton tear his lat? Like officially,
Yeah.
do we know that for sure?
Yes,
It's
he
torn.
did. Yeah, he
Yeah, he
tore it
said
on
that.
his.
He said that on the deadlift or the stones. He said I tore my lat on the deadlift or whatever. But
Yeah, he tore his lat on the deadlift,
yeah.
and yeah.
So
So
that makes you wonder too, because what I think he got one rep on the deadlift.
which is
It makes you,
naturally like historically that's his worst event in
but he's better than
strong.
that.
Oh yeah, for
He's
sure.
better than that. So like it makes you wonder, like, had that not happened, because I think he won by one. I think he won by one
Half a
point.
point.
A
Half.
half point. Okay. And Dan Hughes is incredible. I mean, we
Dan
talked about
Hughes
him
is
before too.
crazy too.
He's incredible, but it just makes you wonder, like, how many more points would he have won by had he gotten a chance to truly perform his best on the deadlifts, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. No, that's a cool win. I know Andrew telling me months ago that he was going to go to Clash and win, personally. So that's really, really cool to see him because obviously I know Andrew more than any of those guys there. Was rooting for him, was rooting for Eric. So to
sure,
see both our people make the finals for me personally, that was cool. I'm trying to think if there was another event that like kind of stuck out for me, just like that I thought was cool. I just thought it ran well. I think it's I think it's a really cool and unique idea that they have on Strongman with like rotating like group
hmm,
one does this event, then group three does this event, and then they switch and like you basically are finishing two events in the time frame that you would finish like an event in
right.
the traditional sense of strongman shows. Like
I
while
know.
while they're resetting event one, there a guy is going on event two. It's
Yep.
it's a really, really good idea.
Yeah, it's nonstop action, so that you're not like, okay, we got to wait for him to reset. Okay,
Yep.
now the next person can go.
Yep.
No, like it's not that. Boom, go, boom, go, boom, go. Now, the one event that I kind of liked, and it was kind of unique, was the with the ladies with the fat back frame.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. Like the deadlifts, rather than doing it with farmers, because I mean, I think historically it's really only been done with farmers.
Yeah.
Doing it with the frame was like a nice, unique twist to
It's
doing
cool.
something different. I like that. I thought that
Yeah,
was
it's
cool.
cool. I like the keg over bar toss. I think
Yeah.
that's always cool. I can tell you everyone hated the tires.
Oh
Hmm.
my God. Get that dude. Take that out of shows. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but man, people losing biceps left and right. 4 or 5 people lost their
Yeah.
biceps on that one. Like,
Yep.
it's got to be
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy
Yeah.
to see like Mike O'Connor tore his
Hmm.
bicep, but I know he was one of the more favorites and he tore it pretty early on that tire flip. Because I think that
Jesse.
tire flip was like right. I mean, it depended what group you were in, but that was early on. So
Yeah. Jesse Nelson did, and he's
Jesse
probably
Jesse Nelson
now.
is another
I
huge
don't.
name.
I don't know. I don't know if this is 100% true, but it's pretty close. He's one of, if not the most statically strong guy there, and
Oh
he
yeah.
lost. Like, he's incredibly strong,
I would say Jesse is probably the most statically strong guy there.
and he lost his bicep on the tire, so he didn't get to do anything. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
sucks.
that sucks.
Yeah, I think you had two guys that we thought for sure were going to make the finals, both tear a bicep right at the beginning.
Right,
John
right.
Stacy, I know he was supposed
Hmm.
to, he tore a bicep. I can't remember who else did it, but man, that sucks. You always feel for the athletes. So
Right, right.
yeah. But
The keg toss event for the girls, though, what I want to know is how much. Like, I'm assuming most people didn't train in sand, right? I'm assuming most people weren't throwing in sand. So, from what I could tell, I was like, man, that has to be a lot different throwing in the sand. Maybe Kate can tell us about it too. So, Kate,
yeah, yeah.
if you want to share your experience, leave it in the comments, please. But it looked like that made a big difference if you practiced on throwing on stable ground versus on sand. It looked like it was a lot more challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how
So,
it is like when you go play sand volleyball, like how quickly you get tired and like how frustrating it is to move.
hmm.
Um, and that's what I had it written to talk about, but with Kate Gutwald, she's obviously a good friend of ours.
Yep.
Um, a better friend than any man or women that was competing there. So I wasn't brushing by her, but I was gonna, say congratulations because that was her. She's competed at the Arnold multiple times, but like that was her real first time like on a big, big stage like
Right.
that.
Hmm.
And she did really, really well. I think she got seventh.
Yep. That's right.
Like, congratulations to her. I know she's so excited and honestly, really impressive with the quick turnaround from the Arnold.
Oh yeah, it was what,
Three
3 weeks?
weeks, three
Yeah.
weeks after the
So
Arnold. So you got to think you have a little bit of downtime. You have your deload week into the Arnold, kind of, and then you have your deload week into Clash. You got less than 2 weeks of prep time.
right.
So wow, like that was really cool to see Kate on the big stage doing well as well. So a lot of
Hmm.
friends. Looked like a really cool show. Um, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Any other takeaways from Clash?
No, I thought it was great.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Any other any major things in strongman right now?
Europe's strongest man's going on right now.
Yeah, I haven't been following along really, to be
Yeah,
honest.
neither have I. I,
Wasn't
I
the
saw that.
Siberian powerhouse or something?
Yeah,
Oh
Siberian
yeah,
powerhouses today. I saw Wes
yeah.
Claiborne pull 920.
That show looks so cool.
It does. I don't
Like,
know
the
why people
presentation
don't.
looks so cool.
It's kind of confusing to me that people don't talk about it.
I didn't even know it was today. So like,
Yeah, I just knew because following Wes,
yeah,
he was posting about it a little bit, but I it just looks like one of those promotions, like those wild overseas promotions, like
yeah,
that are
yeah,
just nuts.
yeah. It
So
looks freaking cool. I
I
like it.
don't know a lot of the names competing. It's
No.
crazy, but there's some strong, strong, crazy dude. It is wild to think like you see these shows like Siberian Power Show, for example, that they just like pop up. They don't get talked about much.
Hmm.
They have an awesome presentation, but you see the numbers that these guys are putting up from different countries that aren't maybe big on Instagram or have never made it to World's Strongest Man. You're like, how many guys realistically are there in this world that compete in strongman right now that could go to World's Strongest Man and do well?
Right.
I think over 100 for sure.
There's a lot.
I
There's
think,
a lot.
like, yeah, that's one thing about World's Strongest Man that is, in my opinion, um, their kind of Achilles heel is the TV aspect. And I
Right.
get it 100%. I get it. I really do. But it's like they invite sometimes historically, I know it's been one of their big things that they take gripe over is inviting people that, may not deserve it or grandfathered in. And I do agree with that. I think there's people that don't deserve to be there and there's people that do. But I just wish that there was a defined route to World's Strongest Man. You could, I've heard Colin Bryce say there is a defined route. I wish there was a defined route. I've never seen it in writing. There are defined routes.
There are ways to get there for certain, but there is no minimum criteria for people to hit to be able to be invited. Like,
Yeah, there's no definitive. There's shows that I think should have an invite.
sure.
Look at 105s.
Hmm.
There are a handful of 105s that I think have a better chance to make the finals at World's Strongest Man than some super heavyweights that get invited.
Sure.
I
Hmm.
really do.
Hmm.
So
And the problem is the title, the world's strongest man. When you have the title of the world's strongest man, you want the best people there, right? Not the most representation. You want the people who legitimately could have a chance. That's what everybody's gripe is, right?
yeah,
The people who legitimately have a chance to be the strongest person in the world, you want to see them there. And when they're not there, it makes you go, what the hell's going on?
right.
Right?
And it's okay. It's the same thing as like the college football playoff. Like for
Right.
people that watch sports, it's like you're always gonna have someone that's left out.
Right.
So it's like expanding the field doesn't always help because it's like no matter what, like what is it, 25 go to World's Strongest Man, right? 25 or
Yep.
30, 30
Yep.
maybe. But it's you have 30 guys, right? There's always going to be that 31st, that
Hmm.
32nd. They're like, well, so and so should have went. So I do get it. Like you're not always going to get it perfect, but right now it just seems like there's always a gap.
Hmm.
It's like, so
Hmm.
I don't know. That's kind of where they lose it sometimes. And obviously where they lose it the biggest is the TV. But what I hear they make from the TV contract, I get it. I
Hmm.
do. Like I
Hmm.
really do. I just wish there was a way for. But you know what? That with that being said, there is a way to go watch it. You can go watch it right in Myrtle Beach, and you can
Right.
go for the week and make a vacation of it if you're that diehard of a fan. So it just we talk about on this pod. It's like if you couldn't watch the Super Bowl for 6 months, but you obviously know who won the Super Bowl.
Would you watch it?
Yeah.
Nope.
So that's my gripe. World's Strongest Man catching random ricochet shots in here, but
Again. Again.
but
We
but
took the
I,
shot out of, was it last week or 2 weeks
but yeah,
ago?
but
Yeah.
like with that being said, I'm super excited to see World's Strongest Man this year and who wins.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna watch. Like, we're gonna follow. We're not gonna watch because we already know who won, but we we know we're gonna be following the spreadsheet. We're gonna be seeing who won this event. Hopefully, I'm gonna come in the gym again this year and be yelling out Hooper because Hooper freaking killed it last year. So, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big Hooper guy now after the 500K thing. I think
I I am
I'm out on Hooper. Who
Canadian
do
Moose. Come on.
who do you guys got winning World's Strongest Man? You got Hooper?
Yeah,
I think Tom Stoltman, since he gets the events, will
yeah. I mean,
probably
he knew
win
the event 6 months ago.
it.
So Hooper's, dude. Hooper, I could definitely see on the podium, 100%.
Yeah, no, I
100%.
yeah, I don't know who I think. I don't know. I want to see the heats and everything and break it down.
Sure.
I don't see
Is
a
it
release
next
date
weekend?
yet.
Or no, it's not for
No,
3 weeks.
3
Not for three
weeks.
weeks.
3 weeks. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll do a full World Strongest Man breakdown show. Historically, in our 2 years of this podcast, it's crazy. This is going to be our third year, third World Strongest Man as a podcast.
That's crazy
And
to think about.
historically, the last 2 years, we are horrific at
They
predictions.
they release the events.
You're
Yeah.
horrific, dude. I picked Hooper, baby. Let's go. Hooper.
I I don't think I've ever gotten a podium correct. Like I don't even think I've been close to a podium being correct.
Yeah.
It's
It's
hard.
tough.
But
Well, yeah, we'll have to do a full breakdown.
I want to see someone outside of Stoltman win this year. I root for
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah.
So
Matthias.
Didn't you get
Yes.
Stoltman right last year for the win? I'm
I
pretty sure
don't.
you picked Stoltman to
Maybe I
win it.
did.
Pretty sure you did.
Maybe I did. I just know I know the first year I didn't get one person on the podium. I was that bad. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's cool. A lot going on in Strongman. A lot of lot of cool local shows coming up. You know, outside of ours. I know
Mhm.
Costin Sutton had South Carolina's strongest man today. It's 143 competitors.
And I hope it went freaking awesome because
Yeah.
Costin really cares. So
Did was Iron Podium down for you guys today for a while?
I didn't check
I
it,
didn't even
to be
look.
honest with you.
It was down for me for a while today. But it's back up now.
Yeah.
But dude, 140 something people is a really, really like that's really impressive.
It's his third show, second show to run.
That he's ran. I don't know.
Yeah. So,
Looks like Iron
I mean,
Podium is being updated right now.
Yeah,
that's cool.
they don't have any of the events in there right now. It's like
Yeah.
slowly going in there. But like super heavyweights, the 265s have 15 people.
Wow, that's a lot for that
The
class. That's awesome.
265s have more than the supers.
Mhm.
That's a lot, man. That's awesome.
Holy shit.
Dante should be there.
My God.
That's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think
But
that's a good class. In a few years, I think we're really going to see that class fill out.
I do too. I
Yeah.
really like the way the 5 Strongman Corp classes are now. I've
Yeah.
talked about it before. I really, really am a fan of it.
Yep.
I think if you go lighter than 175, you're not gonna have much participation. Like I don't like the subclasses because it muddies the water and it's like, oh well, I got this in a subclass, but I got this overall. I don't think it's good. If you look at the participation for the lightest class this year, it was pretty heavy at the Arnold, like 20 something people, same with nationals. 200 I think is a really cool class. I think 200 and 265s are going to really blow up. Obviously
Yep.
231s are big and super heavyweight's always going to be the biggest class. So I really like where it's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ohio Strongest later this summer. It's right in our neck of the woods. All
Yep.
the Strongman Corp regionals. Waiting to hear what OSG does officially. Hearing a lot of rumblings and stuff, but
Yeah. We got a little bit more time this year, though. So, like, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks later.
yeah.
So it makes sense that maybe the regionals haven't been announced and such yet. So I
I wouldn't
assume
be
that's what they're going to do, but I don't know for
Yeah.
sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if the next show we have some song or we have some OSG regional stuff.
Sure.
I
That'd
would
be
not
good.
be surprised. So yeah, I don't know. A
Cool.
lot going on in Strongman. I think that was a
Yep.
good episode. We have a huge biggest guest in show history next week, right, Dante?
Yes.
Right,
I
Froy?
can't wait.
It's a surprise.
It's a
Can't wait.
surprise. Is there anything we can hint at?
Get your fanny packs ready.
Get
That's
your
all I'm
fanny
gonna
packs
say.
ready. There we go.
Get your fanny packs
This
ready. It's gonna be
next-
a big week.
I'm just trigger warning. Next week is a complete fanboy episode. There'll
Yeah,
be no
can't
tough
wait.
questions.
We just got to finalize some times and stuff. So.
There will be no tough questions. It'll be fun and it's gonna be amazing. It's like our dream come true next week.
Let's go.
Meeting a hero on the podcast. So yeah, get your fanny packs ready.
Get your fanny
that's a
packs
good one.
ready. Let's go.
So we'll see you guys all next week for episode 121. As always, you can go to 580barbell.com, get your horsepower, get your merch. Yeah, we'll see you guys at regionals at Battle of the Bridge 2, and we'll see you guys next week for 121.
Later.
Later.